Now, you know I'm getting ready to say something you probably do not want to hear, and it may sound a little harsh at first. I'm sorry, but I'm saying with love. I'm saying it with love. Nobody is coming to rescue you. I know. That's not exactly the warm, fuzzy message you expected to hear, right? I get it. But stay with me because I actually think there is something incredibly freeing about accepting that, especially if you are a woman over 50 in your solo season. Maybe you're divorced or widowed or just single, doesn't matter. Maybe your children are grown and living their own lives, or maybe you simply reached, a stage where you understand that when something happens in your life, you are the person that has to figure it out. You have to figure out what happens next. You have to be that primary decision maker. And that can be scary because there may not be another paycheck coming into your household. There may not be another retirement account to lean on. There may not be somebody sitting across the kitchen table saying to you, don't worry about it, babe. I got this. If the car breaks down, you have to figure it out. If your roof starts leaking, you have to figure it out. If your job suddenly disappears, you have to figure it out. I know what that feels like. And I think one of the hardest realizations for women doing life on their own is understanding that I am the plan. There is no plan B. And if there is a plan B, I'm the plan B, right? I'm plan A, I'm plan C, and sometimes I'm plan C, D, and E too, and it's okay. But here's what changed for me. At some point, I stopped looking at that as something that made me vulnerable. I started looking at it as something that made me more independent and made me actually powerful. Because I thought, wait a minute. If I'm the person who's ultimately responsible for what happens in my life, why am I giving everybody else so much control over it, right? Think about that. If I'm responsible for paying my bills, why would I want one employer to be my only source of income? If I'm responsible for my future, why would I want my entire financial future dependent on systems that I have absolutely zero control over? Because it doesn't make sense. If my time is one of the most valuable things I have left, why would I automatically just assume that I have to give the majority of it to somebody else in exchange for money? Those are the questions that changed the way that I started looking at work, right? And please understand what I'm saying. I am not anti-job. A job can serve a purpose. A job can pay your bills. A job can provide benefits. A job can help fund whatever it is that you're trying to build. Absolutely. But I stopped believing that having a job automatically meant that I had security, because it does not. We see how many jobs are being lost every single day in the U.S. We've seen too much of it. Companies are restructuring. Budgets get cut. People get laid off. Management changes. Industries change. Technology changes. And sometimes you can do absolutely everything right, sweetie, and somebody sitting in a room you've never been in makes a decision that completely changes your life forever. That's when I started thinking, I need something that's mine. I need something that I can build. I need something where I can generate my own income. Not because I thought I was going to become some overnight millionaire. Absolutely not. That wasn't my motivation. My motivation was having options. I wanted more options. I wanted to know that if one thing over here disappeared, I didn't immediately have to panic because that was the only thing that was keeping the lights on. And when I decided I wanted to leave the US and build a different kind of life, This became even more important to me. I didn't want, my ability to live where I wanted to live, tied to whether or not I could find a job there. I didn't want that to be a concern of mine. I wanted to learn how to create income that would move with me, that would travel with me, that I could create and earn and build no matter where I am on the planet. That's what eventually sent me looking online. And what I discovered was that there are so many people that are doing this. They are building businesses from laptops every single day. They're creating digital products that they sell online every single day. Some of them don't even have to create the products. The products are already there for them, right? But they're able to sell these products and make money online every single day. They're doing digital marketing. They're building audiences. They're learning skills that, can be used from anywhere on the planet for the most part. And I thought, why can't I learn that? I'm capable of learning. I'm a smart girl, I have some degrees. I should be able to make things happen. I've learned things in my life that I could certainly turn into a digital product that might be able to benefit someone else. So instead of waiting for somebody to rescue me, I decided I needed to start building my own backup plan. Now, here's where I want to speak directly to the woman watching me who might be scared. Because maybe you're thinking, Z, I don't have anybody. And I understand why that thought can feel completely overwhelming. But I want you to try changing the sentence. Instead of, I don't have anybody coming to rescue me, try, I get to decide what happens next. Do you feel the difference? One sentence makes you powerless, and the other puts the steering wheel completely back in your hands and gives you all the power. You get to learn something new. You get to build something new. You get to decide that the way you've always earned money doesn't necessarily have to be the way that you earn it for the rest of your life, right? You get to decide that your next chapter can look completely different from the last one. And that's a good thing. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned from starting over. You don't have to have everything figured all out. You don't. None of us do. You just have to stop waiting for someone else to figure it out for you. And I think a lot of us, especially women and women as we get older, have been conditioned to wait for permission, conditioned to wait for someone to, pick up the ball, conditioned, to wait for someone else maybe to help us figure it out. Permission to change careers, permission to move, permission to start a business, permission to travel alone, permission to leave the country, permission to reinvent ourselves. Honey, who exactly are we waiting on? Because I'm going to tell you something. There is something incredibly freeing about reaching the point where you say, this is my life. I'm responsible for it. So I'm going to build it the way that I want. And that's where I am right now. And that's what I want for the women who find this channel. Not dependence on me, not dependence on some company. I want you to understand that you absolutely do have options. And one of the options I'm exploring and building is online income. I wanted something I could learn, something I could do from home, something that didn't require me to go back and get another degree or get more credentials, something that could be automated, because automation is what just completely clears out your schedule and saves you all the time in the world. And I wanted something that could give me more control over my time. That's the model I'm learning now. Does that mean everybody who tries it is going to get the same result? Of course not. This is a business. You still have to learn. You still have to work. You still have to show up. But for me, learning how to build something online made far more sense than sitting around hoping that the systems I had depended upon my entire life would always be there. Because as I see things crashing Slowly but surely in the US, I know that that simply is just not going to be the case. So I had to learn to build another option for myself. And that's what I want you to think about today. What is your other option? Is your, if your job disappeared, say tomorrow, what's your plan? Do you have one? If you decided that, you wanted to move abroad, what's the plan? If you simply woke up one morning and decided, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm not happy. I don't have joy in my life. Life is too short, and I'm finally realizing that. I want something more. I want more freedom. I want more financial independence so that I can live the life that I want to live for the remainder of my days here, however long that may be. What's the plan? You don't need all of the answers today, but you should start asking the questions because nobody may be coming to rescue us. Would it be great to open the door and see a knight in shining armor standing there waiting to solve all of our problems? Absolutely. Would I turn him away? Not if he's a good person and he's got a good spirit, good head on his shoulders, and he's a good provider. Absolutely. I'm not going to turn him away. Not at all. Maybe that would be great news for us because maybe we were never supposed to spend the rest of our lives living like this. But then again, maybe we're not supposed to spend the rest of our lives waiting to be rescued either. Maybe we're supposed to build. Maybe we're supposed to learn. Maybe we're supposed to create something that gives us choices. And maybe we're far more capable of doing that than we've even given ourselves an ounce of credit for. So if you're watching this and you're ready to start exploring what your backup plan could look like, I want you to comment my truth below. I'm going to send you the Freedom Blueprint that I'm using so you can see the online business model that I'm learning. Look through the information yourself and you decide whether it's something that you want to explore. There is no pressure. None at all. Everyone has to find their own way. But, at the end of the day, this isn't about me deciding what's right for you. And that's the whole point. You get to decide what happens next in your life. What is your next chapter going to look like? You're not waiting for the plan. Honey, you are the plan. So that's all I have for you today. Give me some comments below. Let me know where you are in your journey. If you're a woman over 50, what is life looking like for you? What is your retirement looking like for you? Are you good? If so, sweetheart, I'm so happy for you. And you are blessed and you keep pushing. But if there is some work to do there, or if you're just not sure because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We could wake up tomorrow morning and the dollar is worth, 10 cents. Then what happens? Then what do we do? It's about creating a plan now so that we can be sure that we are prepared for any eventuality that might occur in the future, right? So until next time, lovelies, take care of yourself. As I always say, HOAS, keep your head on a swivel. Keep yourself protected. Be environmentally aware of your surroundings whenever you're out. And as always, I want you to keep speaking your truth. I love you so much. And until tomorrow.